Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview, this time covering VCT Americas 2025 Stage 1 for Week 2. My guest at this time is PxS of 2Game Esports, coming off of their victory. Yes, victory over Loud in set competition. PxS, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity for this interview. I already said welcome to VCT, but I'm going to say once again for this video, welcome to VCT Americas. And I would say it's a journey in which not many people would have expected for you be in to be at that current position, but such is the way of this game. You find yourself in LA, contributing to this historic victory for the org. So, gotta ask you, what are you feeling right now?
It feels really good after all the hard work, all those years. I've been prepared for this moment, and thanks God, it worked fine. I wasn't really nervous. It was great. Even though it's a new team, I just got one day. Uh, uh, I got here like yesterday morning, pretty much, and then I had like no time, but still the team was great, and they had my back, on stage.
Yeah, like it's really crazy to think about the journey you've been on because like literally 3 days ago, you were competing in Challengers Brazil, and obviously like you had to go from that to just joining two game and just how crazy of a transition has this been for you so far? Just to go from that to being on the main stage.
Mhm. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because it was like really fast. Everything was like so quick. Um, and the stage is just like it's a dream, Being a pro player, it's already a dream, and being here at the highest level, that's what everyone dreams about. So I'm really happy to be here, and we'll keep going. It was just the first match, right?
Yeah, man, it's definitely one thing that to look at, the state of the team and see and say like, oh man, how is two game even going to go through this kind of thing, especially with the matchup against Loud in the near future. But I mean, you guys were able to be victorious over Loud, and so I mean, with all of the circumstances concerning the team and your arrival to the squad with literally not even less than 2 days to prepare and just to have like a know-how of how everybody else plays the game. How did this result even happen? What do you feel was the biggest reason why all of this is happening? Why this has happened?
I mean, the boys they were great in the stage. Like they are really good players. The thing is, it wasn't working now, like the chemistry of the team, and with all the recent changes, like the vibe changed a lot. Like we were more happy inside the server, and I think that's what made the real difference. Like I'm also really I'm always communicating, and even though I'm not an initiator, I'm really active in the game, so it worked well. Some rounds I was helping out our IGL, which is LZ, and it worked great. Like the macro gaming was it still like got a lot to fix, but it worked. With just a little bit of time like that, we did what we could.
Yeah, talk to me about the transition to the new role because up until this point you've been playing mostly Sentinel for your previous team, which is
Mhm.
Vila Dozana. You kind of correct me
Yeah,
on the pronunciation,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, like has it, how much of a major issue, or not even really an issue, but how difficult, if any, has the transition been for you to go from always playing Sentinel, playing the
Mhm.
device and all that stuff, to now just being the initiator and just just having to be put into that role, out of
Mhm.
obligation.
Yeah. I mean, inside the game, it changes a lot because I have to focus less on my crosshair, on my aim, and I need to put more focus on the macro gaming. Like watching the mini map and talking a lot more than before. I kind of need to talk a lot with the duelist as well. Because we're kind of linked, and also help the IGL, like I said, and that's actually kind of hard for me. But I was duelist before being sentinel, so I was already a bit active in server. So I'm kind of rusty, but it worked well. And I think it will be better for the next match, and I'll keep going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you mentioned a little bit about the vibe of a team and how it's been changing for the better. And obviously, like prior to your arrival to two game, it'd be fair to say that things were not going all right in terms of the environment. And I mean, it's one to imagine what it's like for a new guy to have to get into that environment, try to change things up with so little time at hand. But it's another thing to actually do that stuff. And so for you to be into that to be put into that kind of position, how much has the environment changed to the point where it has basically helped you guys be a brand new version of two game?
Hmm. It's a bit hard for me to say because I wasn't here before. I just heard my teammates talking about some stuff that happened, but um, what I got told is that now they're feeling a bit better. I think before it was a lot more pressure in the environment, and then maybe that's why now they feel more like they can play, they can do stuff, and they can actually play the game. Of course, I'm saying it's just what I think. It's not like 100% because only the previous players know what happened, like what's
Yeah.
different, actually different now. But yeah, I'm switching roles inside the game and outside the game. I need to switch the environment and bring like a joy, like being more happy with everyone. A lot of jokes, and then like not taking everything like super super serious. Like having a good time here. I think that will help everyone, especially because it's a lot of pressure being here. Like it's the highest level of Valorant, so that's what I that's kind of what I do to help them out.
What do you think has been the one thing that stood out to you the most in terms of just trying to get to know the rest of the two game guys? What do you think has been the biggest impression that they gave to you that you could use that to improve the team as a collective?
I was actually really impressed because, individually speaking, they're all like super good players. Like I was really impressed. Like we had like one day of practice, and we did like three scrims. It was just three maps, but I saw like the potential. Like they're all really good, and with the right leadership and the right environment, I think we can go a lot further.
Mhm. I mean, going back into just like sort of the past for you, you kind of had to go through plenty of teams in your career from the start, even up until this current point. You're playing in Latin America, playing in Brazil, you're kind of flip flopping also at times. What has the journey been like for you? In the lead up to today. How do you kind of like look back on the road to Los Angeles, and what do you think helped you the most in order to be the kind of player that you are?
Hmm. It was a really long journey. I never played competitive before, so I started with Valorant, and I wasn't super uh, familiar with competitive gaming, and I think that's what took me a little bit more time. Get some experience with a lot of teams, and I think this last team I had in Brazil, the Vila Zuzana, gave me a lot of experience. I have to thank them. They are all my friends, and I had to be here. They all happy for me, of course, but yeah, they helped me a lot as well. When you switch your roles, you kind of get to understand more of the game. Like your role inside the game, and then I think that helped me a lot during my journey, and also this experience I got from every single team. Until this day, and I still got a lot to learn. Here especially, practice with the best and get like a lot of new stuff for myself, and yeah, that's just the beginning.
Yeah, like when one receives the opportunity to go up to LA and compete in VCT Americas, I mean, who's gonna say no, right? And I mean, I want to ask you just sort of like, how does this all even come together? From your point of view, what was the conversation like? How quickly did all of this kind of become official for you? And also, have you been able to kind of stop and think to yourself, "Holy crap, I'm actually here."
I mean, I think the moment I'm gonna think about it, it's actually right now after here. Like it was super. I was rushing a lot because of the plane. It was like a 14 hours flight to get here, and now it's the time I'm gonna stop and think about it. Damn, like I made it. I'm here. I won my first game, and uh, about your question, back in Brazil when I got the news, like I got the Faith. He called me before after the game. We actually
Mhm.
lost. It was kind of sad, but he called me and said we worked previously in a in a team, and then he called me and said, "Man, I know you have the American citizenship, and you are one of the greatest like players I know that I worked with before, you know." And then he said, like, "Do you want to come join us and help us out this stage?" And I said, "Of course." And then I talked with my teammates; they were all happy about it. And yeah, I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and with all of that things considered, it'd be expected for one to look at your position and say like, okay, you're gonna come in, and sure, you might suffer a few losses here and there, but it's expected for it. But the fact that you won today just sort of surpassed all of that expectations, and of course, hopefully you and the rest of the team can build on this momentum. I got one more question I want to ask you before I wrap this up. Obviously, with the changes into the roster, many people were kind of looking at two game of in the sense of, oh no, they're cooked. Is this going to
Yeah.
get even worse from here on out, regardless of who comes into to the team? And so with this result, we're starting to see maybe a little bit of a change in feeling, emotion towards what this team can do. And so what I ask to you, PXS, is do you have any kind of message of like of encouragement, or more so message of like for the future as to what this team can do for the fans and everyone else that are watching two game?
Mhm. Um, I know it's really hard to believe since like the past team wasn't performing really great, but there's a lot of individual potential, um, and we're gonna work that out. We're gonna build the team with that, and it's just the beginning. I'm gonna bring some new stuff to the coaches, to the staff as well. We're gonna improve the way how everything was working, and make a stronger and solid team. We just need time. That's what I promise you guys. But I'm always gonna be dedicated, and I'll try my best to make this team even better and better every week.
At the very least, you were able to do that in this debut match, and as I said, hopefully bigger and better things can come to yourself and the rest of 2Game. PXS, thank you so much for the interview. Really appreciate you giving me the answers to all the questions, and of course, best of luck goes to you later on down the line, man.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, man.